G'day groovy humans and welcome to a groovy enlightened life. Today's episode I'm going to explore not so much Donald Trump himself, because I don't know much about Donald Trump except what the media throws out there. What I'm really exploring is the concept of people like Donald Trump who have come into power recently. So he's not the only one across the planet who has ended up in leadership positions, and everybody's sort of asking how and why. What is going on here? What has happened? And also, I'll be sharing some of the discussions that I've had with people around this concept, around these events that are occurring today, and also a really interesting question that was posed to me by a client who said to me, how can I have unconditional love for somebody like Donald Trump? I hope you can join me today on the episode. Sit back, relax, grab a cuppa. Let's get cracking. Where to begin? So we're all in this interesting space right now where there are a number of leaders across the planet who have ended up in these positions as presidents and prime ministers, and we're all starting to question WTF. What is going on here? These people are probably not the people that we believe align to our values, align to the type of world we want to live in and create, but they're there. Somehow magically these people have arrived in these positions. And, it's really funny when we go through these elections and everybody claims they never voted for that person. Not me. And yet these people are in power. We had a similar event occur in Australia recently with Scott Morrison, and I think even he was shocked that he got into power here in the Prime Minister's position. Now, these events that are occurring around the place, as with all events that occur, are catalysts for change. They are being created to unsettle us, to help us awaken at a much faster rate than we've ever awoken before. And while these events can be painful for people, can be chaotic, create controversy and conflict, they are also perfect catalysts for change in the world. Last year, 2019, I was in Peru and I met up with a bunch of Americans over there. And it was interesting to experience the guilt that they felt around having elected Trump into power. And I had to pull them up and I said, you know what? No, there's nothing to be guilty about. Trump had to happen. And if it wasn't Trump that happened, it would have been some other event that had to occur to create the shift and the upheaval that was required for the American people. And not just for America, for the world as well. Now, they sort of thought about that, and I continued to, explain myself a little bit more, and I said, well, how many people have been sitting on the fence, and for how long? People have become complacent, and not just in America, across the globe. We've become complacent. We just follow the rules. If somebody says we got to do something, maybe we get upset for 5 minutes, but then we just conform and we continue on. And what the event of Donald Trump and those other events around the world are doing is it's getting people off the fence. It's getting people to feel unsettled and to make decisions and to become aware of what's actually going on around them, to start to feel things and just to go, you know what, this is not what I want. This is not the world I want to live in. So I, look at it from a completely different perspective, that these events are helping us grow and become more aware and to help us create the world that we actually truly all want to be a part of. Now, I don't want to be ignorant of the fact that, these events are causing pain. They're causing pain for people. They're causing chaos for people. They are causing conflict, segregation. And that's not pleasant to experience. But with any change, with any big change and birthing of something new in the world, we are going to have this struggle. We're going to have this pain and resistance as we go through and create that world we all want to be a part of. So I guess that's how I view it, is these events are helping create the catalyst for change. And I think it's a great thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's helping shift the energy. It's helping raise the vibration, helping raise the awareness of everybody across the world. And one of the important things that we can learn from these types of events is a practice of tolerance. And tolerance does not mean that we embrace every idea or view that is presented to us, but it means that we do not get angry or upset about what we can't accept. These catalysts for change get us off the fence. They inspire us into action. You can see already around the globe how people are starting to join together in communities. People who are passionate about certain things in the world are starting to join together, and they're creating their own little revolutions or their own little movements around the place, inspiring change, trying to bring around awareness to what's really going on. So this is fantastic for us as a whole. We are at this beautiful tipping point in humanity where big change and fast change is going to occur. So with these types of events that are occurring around the world, I invite you to look at it from a little bit of a different perspective, from the perspective of creating healthy change, positive change for the future. Now I'm going to step into a question that was posed to me by a client when we were exploring the concept of unconditional love. It was a beautiful question that I was asked, and the person said to me, how can I have unconditional love for somebody like Trump? And the way I see things is you've really got to have that big picture view, and you've got to understand that we're all connected, that we're all one, we're all in this together. And when I look at these particular people and these types of events, it's not from a place of ego, it's a place of spirit. It's a place where I see this person and I recognize myself in them. And I realize that they're part of me. I'm part of them, they're part of me. This particular person has been put in place to create controversy, to create conflict, to be the catalyst for change. And I applaud these people. Now, these people may not even be aware of what's really going on, okay? They're probably in these positions just going about life and not in a state of consciousness. We already probably know that they're definitely not in a state of consciousness. They're not consciously behaving and acting and leading our countries from that place. But I still have immense respect for these people who, in essence, are sitting in these roles, creating and helping us shift and change in this age of consciousness to a greater awareness of who we are and what kind of world we all want to be a part of. So when you get to a place where you understand that connection, that oneness, and you can see and feel your connection to any human being, to any nature being out there, to the planet as a whole, and you realize we're all in this together, then you can start to experience that unconditional love and say, you know what, thank you. Thank you for being the catalyst for change. Thank you for providing what we need as a whole to move us forward, to shift and raise our vibration. You are doing your job perfectly, and I thank you. Maybe a little bit hard to swallow. I get it. And it's definitely a practice. It's not something you can just do overnight. And I get it. I'm not directly affected by Trump and his decisions and what he's doing in America. And I know it would be particularly hard for some people because they're being discriminated against, because there is conflict being created where there doesn't need to be any. And I'm going to continue to preach this, is that the change in the world, if we want to create the world that we all want to be a part of, it starts with us as an individual. It's not something external that can be fixed by somebody else. If each and every one of us chooses that journey back to self, journey of remembering and understanding what's truly going on, then it's automatically going to shift and change the vibration of the planet. We will force the change because we, within ourselves, will be changed. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this episode. So if you are interested, I invite you to come over to tribe.sagacityrising.com, where we can discuss a little bit more around this topic and of these events that are occurring in the world that are catalysts and shifting and changing and raising our vibration. If you're interested in the show notes, head over to sagacityrising.com/AGEL019. Thank you once again for taking time out of your life to listen to the podcast today. Stay groovy, my friends. Maya out.